Canon enthusiasts, get ready, because there's been a lot of noise around a potential new addition to the EOS R lineup, the long-rumored Canon EOS R4. Touted by some as the next major step in Canon's mirrorless journey, the EOS R4 has been described as a powerhouse with flagship aspirations. It's said to blend next-generation features with professional-grade performance, aiming to carve a new space between the popular EOS R5 and the versatile EOS R6. But as we break down the leaks, rumors, and Canon's broader strategy, one big question emerges: is the EOS R4 actually real, or is it simply a phantom camera born from internet speculation? Canon's EOS R series has firmly established itself in the mirrorless camera market. Each model has been carefully designed to meet specific needs, from seasoned professionals to advanced hobbyists. The EOS R5 quickly became a fan favorite thanks to its advanced video capabilities, like 8K recording, and a high-resolution 45MP sensor, making it an ideal tool for content creators and hybrid shooters. Meanwhile, the EOS R6 focused more on speed, low-light performance, and value, featuring a 24.2MP sensor and a more forgiving price tag. Together, these two models offered a clear contrast, performance versus practicality, and filled distinct roles within Canon's mirrorless lineup. At first glance, the rumored EOS R4 appeared to be the perfect bridge between the R6 and R5. Many speculated it would balance high-end features and mid-range pricing, possibly aimed at users who found the R6 underpowered but didn't need everything the R5 offered. Early chatter hinted at a 40MP sensor, more than the R6 but slightly less than the R5, along with improvements in autofocus, low-light capability, and video performance. It sounded promising on paper, potentially offering 8K recording at 60 FPS, support for Canon Log 2 and 3, faster connectivity, dual card slots, and enhanced weather sealing. Essentially, the EOS R4 was imagined as a refined, more affordable take on the R5. However, when we look beyond the surface, things begin to unravel. Most of the features rumored for the R4 already exist within Canon's current offerings. The R5 already handles 8K video, supports Canon log profiles, and has excellent build quality. The R6 series continues to dominate the value segment with fast performance and strong low-light results. This leaves the R4 in a murky position. If it's just a lighter version of the R5, then what purpose would it serve that isn't already met by the existing models? Canon is known for carefully segmenting its products to avoid overlap. Every model in the EOS R lineup has a well-defined identity and target audience. The EOS R3 is for sports and wildlife pros who need speed and durability. The R5 is for high-resolution imaging and 8K video. The R6 and R6 Mark II are aimed at general-purpose shooters who prioritize usability and low-light performance. In this context, the R4 feels like an awkward in-between, a camera that could end up being too similar to its siblings to justify its existence. Adding to the confusion, one of the more interesting rumors surrounding the R4 was the potential inclusion of a new internal cooling system, perhaps an effort to address the overheating issues that plagued the R5 during extended 8K recording sessions. This was said to involve heat pipes or vapor chamber technology, a step up from firmware fixes and third-party accessories. However, without concrete details or official acknowledgement, this remains purely speculative. And even if true, it might not be enough to meaningfully separate the R4 from the R5C, Canon's video-focused solution to thermal issues. So, where would the EOS R4 fit in the real world? What would be its unique selling point? That's the biggest problem, no one seems to know. Without a clear differentiator, the R4 risks being dismissed as a redundant product, neither here nor there in Canon's otherwise well-structured mirrorless ecosystem. Beyond technical features and market strategy, there's also a cultural angle to consider. In many East Asian cultures, including Japan, where Canon is headquartered, the number 4 is considered unlucky due to its pronunciation being similar to the word for death. This belief, known as tetraphobia, often leads companies to skip the number entirely in product names and numbering sequences. It's the same reason some buildings in the West skip the 13th floor. While Nikon has released D4 and D4S models in the past, they are exceptions to a rule that's otherwise respected across the tech industry in East Asia. So, the idea of Canon releasing a camera called the EOS R4 already clashes with cultural expectations and marketing norms in its home country. Then there's the issue of timing. Earlier rumors suggested a potential EOS R4 launch in early to mid-2025. But as we approach that window, there's been no official confirmation from Canon, no development announcements, no trademark filings, and no regulatory certifications. These are usually telltale signs that a real product is on the way. When Canon genuinely prepares to release a camera, it leaves a breadcrumb trail of patents, code names and registration databases, and industry whispers with credible sourcing. None of those indicators are present for the R4. That strongly suggests the camera isn't in Canon's short or even midterm plans. Even if the R4 were real, its assumed price point, likely between $3,000 and $3,500, would pose yet another issue. That price range is already occupied by the R5, which frequently goes on sale and remains a top-tier choice for hybrid shooters. Meanwhile, the R6 series continues to lead the enthusiast segment thanks to its excellent performance and approachable pricing. A new model entering the same price bracket would need to offer something significantly new and compelling to avoid cannibalizing sales from existing models. Based on the current rumor set, the EOS R4 wouldn't offer that. Another red flag is the lack of detailed, high-confidence leaks. When true information about upcoming camera surfaces, it tends to include specific data, buffer sizes, frame rates, codec options, stabilization types, and technical schematics. These details are usually leaked by people with early access to engineering samples, developer kits, or marketing materials. But with the R4, the rumored features remain vague and unsubstantiated. We hear about 8K, but there's no mention of whether it involves full frame readout, oversampling, or how heat is managed. There's talk of a new sensor, but no specifics on frame rates, dynamic range, or bit depth. The overall lack of substance points more toward wishful thinking than a real, imminent product. When we zoom out and examine Canon's broader product roadmap, the absence of an R4 becomes even more understandable. Canon seems laser-focused on refining its existing platforms. The R5 is expected to receive a successor with open gate recording and 8K 60p support. The one South African rand is coming for flagship sports and journalism use. There are also persistent rumors of refreshed entry-level and video-focused models. But nowhere in this roadmap is there a clear slot for an ambiguous mid-tier camera like the R4. Canon's strategy appears to prioritize simplicity, clarity, and refinement. They're not trying to flood the market with a dozen overlapping models. Instead, each camera serves a defined audience and use case. Introducing a model like the R4, which doesn't clearly surpass the R5, nor provide more value than the R6, would only confuse buyers. And for a company as deliberate as Canon, confusion is the enemy of market success. In light of all this, the Canon EOS R4 feels less like an actual upcoming product and more like a fan-made concept, an idea created by community demand rather than company design. Enthusiasts want a perfect middle ground camera, one that combines the best features of the R5 and R6 at a lower price. That's understandable. But that doesn't mean Canon is working on it. If you've been holding out for the R4, it might be time to reassess. The R5 and R6 Mark II are already incredibly capable and offer clear value depending on your shooting priorities. And if Canon is planning something new, it's more likely to be a true generational leap, like an R5 Mark II or a revolutionary new line entirely, than a speculative middle child model that doesn't fit their current roadmap. Speculation will always be part of the camera world. It's fun to imagine what's next and to dream about the perfect tool. But it's also important to understand how camera companies actually operate. Canon, like its rivals, builds products with purpose. It doesn't launch cameras just to please rumor mills or fill imaginary gaps. So, is there room for an EOS R4 in Canon's mirrorless lineup? Possibly, but only if it offers something genuinely new and distinct. Until then, it's best to view the R4 as what it most likely is, a concept born from community enthusiasm rather than a product grounded in reality. What do you think? Should Canon make an EOS R4, or is it better to skip it altogether? Let us know your thoughts in the comments.